Hi there, this is Brett Thompson, Superintendent here at Carbrook Golf Club. Just coming with a little update for June. So obviously I didn't do one last month, but I'm back again by popular demand this time, so here I am. So firstly, I'd just like to talk about probably all the wet weather we've had out there recently. So everyone would have seen the course has been off and on for buggies and stuff like that, and we've tried to rope it off so we can try and get the buggies back out there as fast as we can, and just trying to keep you out of those wet areas. But for yous, you can still play golf through it, but for us it's sort of a little bit different. When it gets that wet, we find it hard to get the machines out there without making a mess, because it's pretty muddy, and all the low spots where all the water is, we can't just go driving through them and making a mess, so that just trashes it a little bit. So it's been hard for us to try and get out there. So you might have noticed over last probably month or so, when we've had a couple of those floods, the grass has been a bit long around the trees and in a few areas that we just haven't get to. It's not because we're not trying to get out there, it's just that literally we don't want to go out there and make a bigger mess and then try and have to clean that up later. So I understand there's probably been a little bit harder for people to find their balls and stuff, but that's not anything we're doing on purpose. But we'll just get out there as fast as we can once it dries out. And you would have seen over the last few weeks it's slowed down a bit with the rain, and it's made it a little bit better for us to come out there and get the grass cut. So, and saying that as well, we get a little bit of problems, because sometimes we can't get out. We couldn't even get out there to cut the greens for a week sometimes, so that grows a little bit, and we get a little bit of disease and a little bit of fungus because all the water's hanging onto the greens and sitting there all day. So we've had to up our program a little bit for the disease and the fungicides with a couple of double applications, and then a week later sometimes you might get another flood and it will rain again for that another week, so it makes it hard for us to come back and reapply that again. So we've got to go out and do that again. A couple of greens might have got a little bit of disease, but it's under control now, and it'll be all right coming into the winter months, because the greens are going to start slowing down, and you'll see once it dries out, we'll get a little bit more speed out of them. Well, you can probably notice this is our nursery green down here just out near the shed. It's getting a little bit brown. That's just a normal looking colour for winter for the TIFF, so it'll probably go off a little bit more, and you'll find with the drier weather coming through, we'll get a little bit more speed, up to the 10s, sort of to 11. So don't worry, you'll have 3 months of good putting weather there for you people that like the speed on the greens to putt. But for everyone else, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of trying times, a bit of nervous putting, but I'm sure you'll get used to it over the next 2 or 3 months. There's nothing to fear, but we get it every year, and yeah, it'll be right. So so in saying that, there's probably as things start slowing down, we'll get into a few other little jobs out there what we normally try and get through in winter. Firstly, we want to go around and sort of prune all the boundaries back, so we can get the mowers and that through there as well, so it makes it easier for us to cut it and that. And on the course, we'll lift all the trees up on the course for ourselves as well, because they just start hanging down, and the newer ones sort of grow branches out that are too low for our mowers, so we don't snap them when we try and cut around them and stuff like that. So that's one project we'll definitely be looking to do. So you might see us out there with the chainsaw on the truck and that. So yeah, just so you know what we're doing, that's where we're heading. Probably one other thing, a lot of over the time with the recent rains and plus the flood, a lot of our sprinklers are just lowered into the ground by 1 inch or 2 inches. So we want to try and get around as many as we can. We probably won't get them all done, but we're going to give it a crack and lift them all up to ground level again. It's a lot more nicer, to the water sprays out more evenly and just spurts over to the ground. So yeah, and we don't want anyone stepping down there, because sometimes they do get a little bit lower around the tees and on the greens. We'll probably focus on them 2 areas first, where the main lot of traffic goes to. So that's another plan that we do. Probably also wouldn't mind trying to get into the gardens this year as well, getting a little bit more mulch out there, refreshing them up. They've been neglected for probably 18 months there, where it's been a little bit tough through COVID and that. But now that we're back here and we've got more staff, we'll try and get into those jobs. So that'll probably be about where we're looking to finish up for the year, if we get started, get those few little areas. But one last thing, you've probably seen us, we've already sprayed around the trees. We've started a big job of spraying around all the trees as well, to try and keep all the grass down for there. That'll visually look nice over through winter, so that's going to be a help. So save us going around whippersnipping and doing that. But for about this month, I'll keep it nice and short. So that's about all for me for June. Until next month, yeah, happy putting. Keep it good.